Happy Monday. This is Melanie Shapiro. Drop a comment if you have any questions. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the election. I'm going to talk about some updates on immigration law, and I'm going to be answering your questions as usual. So, let me know if you have any questions. Just put them in the comments. If you want to talk about the election, you can also do that in the comments too. Um, so again, let me know if you can hear me okay. I'm streaming on Instagram and Facebook right now. We're going to be adding in YouTube, hopefully on Wednesday, so it'll be on a few different platforms. Um, so to get started, I hope everyone had a great weekend and we're able to do something fun for Halloween. I was able to celebrate with my daughter. She was a little firefighter this weekend, and my partner and I were peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So that was really fun. Our apartment complex where we live had little treat bags for the kids. So we tried to make the most out of the pandemic. I know trick or treating was not a thing this year, but hopefully by next year we'll have a vaccine and be able to celebrate things and do things a bit more normally. Um, so if you haven't voted yet, you need to get out to vote tomorrow. Do whatever you have to do. You need to go vote. Every vote counts. This election is crazy important, probably the most important one I ever have seen. I have a question. Juan, I called the embassy many times and there was no answer. Yeah, what embassy, Juan, did you call? Um, a lot of the embassies are not operating normally. We've had a lot of problems with clients. For example, we have one case tied up in administrative processing for a year now in India. And with the pandemic and it being shut down, it finally just reopened and there's no communication about what's going on. So we have the congressional liaisons are working with the embassy to try and see what is happening. Um, so anyway, Juan, I don't know what embassy you're from. You can let me know. I'll try and watch the comments. But there's just a lot of difficulties with travel bans, with the COVID restrictions, and being short-staffed at the embassy. So it's still in that kind of crazy time here of not knowing what's going to happen. So, um, as I was mentioning with the election, you have to get out and vote. There's so much riding on this for rights for women, for the LGBT community, for immigrants, for the state of democracy and, our health and our economy. So it's really important. If you can vote, you better vote and you better make all your friends vote. Um, it says, Juan, you already went to the clinic for the test. Are you saying that you already had your medical exam for your visa interview? Um, I think that's what you mean. So I'm not sure which embassy you're talking about still, so just let me know. And you have to kind of just reach out to that particular embassy. They all have these public inquiry forms on their websites where you can submit any concerns that you have. So you can try doing that or just email us and we can set up a consult for you to see if we can figure out what's going on. Um, so I'm not sure what's gonna happen with this election, if we're going to get results tomorrow or if we're gonna have to wait, if there are gonna be lawsuits like Bush v. Gore back in the day. But there's a lot riding on this election. If we have President Biden elected and if we are able to flip the Senate to have the Democrats in charge, then that is the greatest chance that we have for comprehensive immigration reform, which over many decades we've been trying to do and no one has been able to get it accomplished. But there's so many archaic terms and policies and broken systems that it would be great if we could get that some change there. M says, "Can I ask a question?" Yes, please ask a question. I'm happy to answer it. If anyone has a question, please just drop it in the comments. I'm happy to answer your questions. So anyway, so we'll see what happens with the election. There could be some major changes if Biden is elected. Some of the executive actions that President Trump has done, such as the travel bans, trying to get rid of DACA, trying to get rid of temporary protected status, those are things that President Biden, day one, could rescind those executive actions that he gets into office. So there's some really good potential for resolving some of the situations that are causing a lot of anxiety to people. Um, so we hopefully will have that happen. I also wanted to discuss a couple of other things that are going on. So October 2nd, the filing fees were supposed to go up for all of the immigration petitions, or at least many of them, some up by large percentages. There's a lawsuit going on right now that has temporarily stopped the filing fees from going up, but we are still trying to get as many petitions in as we can right now, just in case the lawsuit is unsuccessful and the filing fees do go up. So if you have a case that you're looking to file, you should contact our office right away so that we could try and get your case in before the filing fees might go up if the lawsuit is unsuccessful. So that's one of the items that's happening right now. The other major issue that we're looking at is the changes to the asylum work permits. So on October 25th, the rule changed. President Trump doubled the amount of time that asylum seekers have to wait in order to be able to file for a work permit. So before it was a 6-month wait, and now it's a 1-year wait, which has been really hard. I have one client who is basically homeless right now because he's been unable to get a work permit. So one of the things that you can do if you do have your asylum case pending and you are now having to wait the 1 year, there are lawsuits going on, class action lawsuits, that if you become a member of the class, you can apply after 150 days instead of the 1 year. So the class memberships are for the ASAP class membership, the Asylum Seeker Advocacy Project, and also the other one is the CASA membership for different groups. So these two groups are for different people. One of them is the ASAP group, the Asylum Seeker Advocacy Project, is open to anyone in the country who is over the 18 years old and has an asylum case pending. The CASA membership is only for residents of Maryland, Virginia, and Pennsylvania. So my office is in Massachusetts, and I have many clients who are in Massachusetts. So for example, if you're in Massachusetts, you're over 18, and you have your asylum case pending, then you would be able to go in the ASAP class membership. They're still accepting class members. So this is one way you could try to fall within the 150 days and not have to wait an entire year to apply for a work permit. So if Biden wins the election, then this is something that he could change right away too, is this new asylum policy making people wait for a full year before applying for their work permits. So we'll see what happens with that. And I guess the other issue I wanted to talk about is how messed up it is right now at the immigration court. Everything is completely disorganized. Everything is backed up. They are now having the pretrial hearings, and every judge has a different way that they want to do things in terms of having your client go in person, having them appear telephonically. Most of what I'm seeing is that there's a lot of expectation that the client comes to your office and you do a conference call. You have them in your office and you do your trial on the telephone. But that, of course, is putting the attorneys at risk. I am not really seeing people in my office. There's a surge in COVID cases. I'm immunocompromised and I don't want to be at risk. I don't want to put my family at risk. I don't want my clients to be at risk. And I have for example, I have this trial on Friday that I'm supposed to do. I have filed a motion to continue several months ago because I can't really work with my client because of COVID and the business is shut down and it's hard to communicate. So I filed this motion to continue. We've been calling the court every day for months. Oh, we don't have a decision. Oh, we don't have a decision. I have no idea when we'll have a decision. And we don't even know when the judges are going to be in. The court won't release the schedule to us. So we've had to rely on what people have heard when they've been at court about when a judge might be in or might not be in. Um, so I talked to my client last week and she told me she had COVID in June and now she has a terrible flu. She might have to go on a respirator. I filed an emergency motion last week, called the court this morning, still no decision on this. Um, the clerk this morning was nice though and sympathetic and told me should be okay, but should be okay and having to prepare your client for trial are two different things. So it's been stressful. There have been a lot of situations like that, and also going to court and they don't have the file, um, or now with appearing by telephone, you can appear by telephone, but if you appear by telephone, then you waive your right to object to the evidence. So, I mean, that's definitely a due process violation. Um, so that's what's going on at the court. I have a question that I get all the time about, well, how can I apply for a work permit? So a work permit application has to be with a different type of form. So for example, it can be with an asylum application, it could be with a green card application, it could be with VAWA, Violence Against Women Act, with a work visa application. So there's different ways to qualify for the work permit. There's many different categories, but it's not something you can apply for on its own. So if you want more information about that, send me a message and we can get you set up with a consultation and I can see if you qualify for anything. Um, I did get a question from a client earlier, which I think is really important and relevant regarding a work permit. So my client, he is from Uganda. He filed his application in 2014. He still hasn't been called for an interview. He is on an expedited list, but still no interview. And he received his work permit, and he has been getting some pressure from his job about his status and what to do if he still doesn't have his asylum status by the time his work permit expires. So, I think this is representative of a lot of what people are going through right now because everything is taking so long, everything is backed up and disorganized, that, people are afraid of losing their jobs and people are afraid that their driver's licenses are going to expire. And now the RMVs are kind of strict about renewing licenses if you can't show that you have a lawful immigration status. So one of the things is when people are applying for the work permit and they get their receipt notice, on the bottom of the receipt notice is language on there automatically extending the work permit for 6 months. So it's really important if you are renewing your work permit and you still haven't received it because there's a delay, you can take that letter to your boss and say, look, this document here from the Department of Homeland Security says that my work authorization has been extended automatically for 6 months. So that's something to keep in mind there. I have another client who we're doing a marriage petition case for him, and he's in graduate school and he's also still in his F1 status, and he's also has a pending green card application. So it's kind of unclear what is his status and what does he put on his application for school. So I think, in that situation, it's kind of tricky because he has a student visa, but he also is going to have a green card soon. So, there's just some timing issues and trying to figure out what's the best thing to do in certain situations. So it's a good example to show that everybody's case is different, and that's why it's important to talk to an attorney and not listen to everyone in the community who's talking about their cases, because everyone's case is different. Um, so, that was going on. We also have some other things going on at the office. We have an asylum interview coming up for someone based on their political opinion. We have I'm going to be on a panel for my old law school, Roger Williams University, this month to talk about some of the issues with COVID and practicing immigration law, and especially that conversation might change a lot after the election results. So we're doing that, and just some marriage interviews. We're doing a lot of asylum cases here. I'm talking to someone from Nigeria who is in Nigeria to talk about her options because of what's going on there. And otherwise, that's pretty much it. I'm working on that stuff all day. If you have any questions or you want to do a consultation, I do still have some spots available this week. I have a couple of spots tomorrow and some spots on Thursday. So if you want to talk to me directly, I'm happy to set up a consultation for you. I hope that everyone has a good day, and thank you so much for tuning in. I will be back on Wednesday, miércoles con Melanie in Espanol at 4 o'clock. So if you speak Spanish or you have someone who needs some information and speaks Spanish, please let them know I'll be here at 4 o'clock on Wednesday in Spanish. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.